Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Natti raga sama aghi, natti dosa samo kali, natti khanda sama dukkha, natti santi parang sukhanti. Dear listeners, subject to the discourse today, how to find the eternal happiness. Each and every person in the world is seeking for the everything for take to feel a pleasant sensation. Everything Lord Buddha has proclaimed, Vedana samosarana sabedam. Each and everything the world is bent to, are bent to the sensations. We do everything to satisfy our sensations. Even you listen to my sound because of you like to continue the sensation of what you are feeling, you're sensating by my. And when somebody look at some place, if you listen to some other thing, those also you do because you love to change of humans world, of each and every being. So happiness is the essential thing what all beings are love to, of aloneness in our life. We do everything to get rid of, to avoid that aloneness. We'll listen to the music. People are watching TV and chattering with some other people because you can turn back and inside to satisfy yourself. You have done many plays. Sometimes you listen to some sermons. Sometimes you chat with some others. But Lord, just you try to avoid it. But you can't hide from it. It's always with you. That is why the life, the suffering, there's a stress. One day, a monk called Molyapaguna has come to Lord Buddha and asked, Sire, why are you get ordained under the Supreme Buddha? I replied them, because I need to understand, I need to comprehend the suffering. Look at that answer. It is not normal answer. This answer is some kind of extraordinary. So, why is it extraordinary? It is not to overcome from the suffering. It is not to gain something, but it is for comprehend the suffering. So then Lord Buddha again re-asked from him your answer, if they again ask you for what suffering, for what you are going to comprehend as suffering, then Lord Buddha replied by himself, you are going to understand, you're going to comprehend. The eye is suffering, the visuals are suffering, and the ears are suffering, and the sounds are suffering, knowing, and tongue is suffering, tastes are suffering, body is suffering, and the tangibles are suffering, the mind is suffering, and thoughts are suffering. So that is what you are going to comprehend. So, dear ones, we are going to, if we really need to understand, if we really need to overcome from all kind of mental stress, and if you need to find the real happiness, you must have to find the deepest point of happiness and the unhappiness and the stress. Even today, to overcome from the suffering and stress and find happiness, you have done so many things. You may look at the visuals, you may listen some sounds, you may smell some things, you may taste some things, you may get touched with some objects and people, and you were thinking about so many things. But find the deeper point. Are you satiated? Are you satisfied? No. And unsatisfaction is still with you. First of all, you must understand you can't find the real happiness with those sensual things, with sounds, visuals, tastes, smells, tangibles. You can't find the real happiness from those. If you can find those happiness from these 5 things, you must find the happiest way of living already. You no need to listen to the Dhamma, no need to meditate or anything else. Listen to the Dhamma, and if you're searching about philosophies, because why? You are not satiated yet. So if someone really needs to understand the suffering, and if someone really need to overcome the suffering, someone really need to find the eternal happiness, they must understand the eternal happiness is not associated with those 5 sensual pleasures, because they are never satisfied today, and those are not under your control. One by one, inside those. How many times you were watching on TV, phones, videos, or movies, but they couldn't satisfy you. How many times you listen to the music, but they also couldn't satisfy you. Your happiness, they are just avoiding reality. And find to so that is why Lord has proclaimed, nothing raga samo aghi. There is nothing burning like the lust. It is the most burning thing in the world. And nati dosa samokti. And there is nothing bad as the hatred. Nati kanda sama dukkha. And there is nothing suffering as 5 aggregates. Nati santi parang sukham, than the Nibbana. Nibbana means the stilling of all preparations. If you heard the Dhamma, or if you searching about the Buddhism, you already know the explanation of liberation, the explanation of enlightenment. That is, this is peaceful, this is excellent, namely the stilling of all preparations, the relinquishment of all assets, the destruction of craving, detachment, cessation, and that is called Nibbana, that is called enlightenment. One day, in the Dvaitanupassana Sutta, Lord Buddha has proclaimed, Yankinchi dukkhang sambhuti sabbang sankhara pachaya sankharana nirodhena nati dukkhasa sambhavo. Is there any suffering, is there any stress coming into your mind? Those all because of mental preparations. If there's no mental preparations, there is no stress comes to your mind. The suffering, stress, and all other mental problems, they are arising with yourself because as a mental preparation, as a preparating of your mind. He have done such a thing to me. I'm going to gain this in this time period. While you're thinking, they are arising the suffering. Simply, suffering equals to the craving, the desire. If you desire, there's suffering, there's stress. There is 3 types of cravings. What are those? Sometimes we like to gain something. Sometimes we like to get rid of something. Sometimes we like to continue something. But those all means the craving, the desire always shows us a happiness in future, and it gives you mental fatigue, stress in this very moment. That is the truth. It always shows you, once I gain it, I can be happy in the future. But in this very moment, it gives you unhappy, stress, mental fatigue. And sometimes you feel, once I get rid of this man or this thing, I can be happy. But in this very moment, that thought gives you unhappy, gives you stress. And sometimes you are thinking, if I continue this in the future, in this way I can be happy. But it also just gives you the unhappiness. That is the actual truth of craving. That is why Lord Buddha has proclaimed the cause to suffering is craving, is desire. If you really need to find the eternal happiness, you really need to understand the world reality. If you need to overcome all kind of mental stress, all kind of mental fatigue, we just have to understand the reality. That is what we have to understand. Lord Buddha proclaimed, Nati Kanda Sama Dukkha. There is nothing suffering as 5 aggregates. What are those aggregates? Body, sensations, perceptions, volitional activities, and cognitions. That means consciousness. If you conceive about a self, if you conceive about a soul, we just have to think, we just have to take only 5 things. Those are your body, you can take as yourself, your soul. Your sensations, you can take as your soul. Your perceptions, this is white, this is black, this is he's a man, she's a woman. Those perceptions you can take as your soul. And volitional activities, that means your mental preparations, you can take as your soul. And the cognitions of your eye, cognitions of your ear, cognitions of your nose, cognitions of your tongue, cognitions of your body, cognitions of your mind, you can take as your soul. You already have taken as they are my soul, they are I am. But Lord Buddha's discovery is those are not mine, those are not myself, those are not my soul, those are not I am even. You just can close your eyes and inside your body, first of all, there's a skin, very thin layer. And under that, there is a flesh. Under that, there's the skeleton. Under that, there is a brain with full of blood and nerve system. You can go through your body. There's lungs, heart, kidneys, and so many ugly things. Then how can does the body like a machine? The only way to get rid of the suffering and stress, the only way to find the eternal happiness is understand, is comprehension of the reality. Comprehension of, once you comprehend, once you fully understand about the suffering, that is the only way you can overcome from the suffering. A understanding of suffering is an essential, is essential to overcome from the suffering. If you can't understand, if you can't comprehend it, you can't get rid of it. That is why in that story, Lord Buddha, that monk Venerable Molya said to the Supreme Buddha, when others ask me, why are you ordained in this Buddha Sasana? I replied them to comprehend the suffering. That is why I got ordained. He didn't answer like to overcome the suffering, to the nibbana, attain reply like that. He just replied to comprehend the suffering. I ordained just for comprehend the suffering. Because once you comprehend the suffering, what will you understand? What then Lord Buddha's reply was, then when, dear monk, if they again ask you what suffering you are going to comprehend, that is, the eye is suffering, visuals are suffering, the cognitions of eye are suffering, the contact of eye is suffering, and the sensations which arise with the eye cognition, those are suffering, and the cravings arising with the visuals, those are suffering. In the same manner, ear is suffering, sounds are suffering. Why? How can we understand this? For now, this is only just a lecture, just a theory to you. But the only way of overcoming stress, suffering is understand the reality. Just understand this truth as it is. That is why I said before, you can only take 5 things as you are. You're taking this body is I am. You're taking those sensations are I am. And you're taking I am the one who is perceiving. This is a wall, he's a man, she's a woman, and etc. You're thinking that perceiving is I am. I'm the one who is perceiving. And once you're feeling thoughts, oh, I need to do like this. I would not do like this, and so on. Those thoughts also, you are thinking, I am the one who is thinking, I'm the one who is preparing. And the cognition is also same. You're thinking, I'm the one who is seeing, I'm the one who is listening, I'm the one who is cognizing. But Lord Buddha reply has taught us those five aggregates: the body, sensations, perceptions, mental preparations, and cognitions are not created by you, and they are not created by anyone else in the world. They are just a mechanism. They are just a effect of a cause. I'll tell you an example. If you say a robot who has an artificial intelligence, after some time, that robot can tell, there's a real world is existing outside, and I am living in this real world. The robot is like this. What would you feel? You feel it's uncommon. It's not agreeable. Okay. Robot, a robot cannot tell that I am in the world. I'm living. Because if you tell I am living, or if you tell I am not living, if you tell I am either living, or unliving, if you tell neither I am neither living, no unliving, it is not questionable. Because as a robot, it is just a data authorized in his mechanism. It can't tell I am living. That's why I understand all means eye visuals, ear sounds, body tangibles, tongue taste, nose smells, and mind and thoughts, thing else. There is nothing you can take other than this. Your world is five, six things, six senses. The way of finding the eternal happiness, there is no other way. The practical and correct way is just understanding of the Four Noble Truths. I emphasize you, Four Noble Truths are here and now, no else. What are the Four Noble Truths? The first noble truth is suffering. There's a cause of suffering, and there's a cessation of suffering, and there's a way to cease the suffering. I mentioned you before, the stress, suffering always arises as a preparation of our mind. Once we feel to gain something, there's a stress. Once you feel to get rid of something, there's a stress. Once you feel to continue something, there's a stress. But we can do anything. We can gain anything. We can get rid of anything. We can continue anything without thinking on it, without desiring to it, without making thoughts about it. If we not make thoughts about them, there is no way to suffer. Because mental always creates a stress inside you. And the stress always with two ends, the future and the past. If you think about the past, it is just a thought what arises in our mind. If you think about the future, it also just a thought what arises in our mind. The future also comes as this moment, as this second, in sooner or later. We always have to face here and now, think or not. The overcoming of the suffering and find the eternal happiness, the way of finding the eternal happiness is a direct answer is Satipatthana. The direct and practical answer, just Satipatthana. That means the four bases of mindfulness. The way of overcoming suffering, of liberation, of enlightening is just four bases of Satipatthana, four bases of mindfulness. Lord Buddha firstly asked you to be aware to your body. Because firstly, I mentioned you, the stress, suffering, unhappy always arise as a thought, as a preparation of thoughts. But now you're going to be aware to your body each and every second, to each and every posture that you're using. Once you blink your eyes, you're aware of it. Once you turn your head, you're aware to it. Once you talking, you're aware to it. Once you move your hands, you're aware to it. You can do anything like a machine, and you can do anything with full of awareness. Awareness always gives you a tremendous satisfaction, and it always blocks the mental preparations. It is the first way, it is the simplest way to stop the chattering of your mind. Why are we stop the chattering of our mind? Because the chattering of the mind is the only thing which gives us suffering, which gives us the stress. If there's no chattering, there is no stress at all. Maybe somebody is going to kill you tomorrow. If your mind does not chatter, there is no problem. You will be faced to your death tomorrow in that very moment for a few seconds. But the preparations of the mind, of the thoughts, will kill you each every second you're thinking about it. The finding the eternal happiness, the first step is be aware to your body. Lord Buddha has proclaimed several methods, but in the simplest manner, the summarized way of the mindfulness of body is just be mindful to your postures. Do everything, each and every second, take your concentration, take your attention to your posture, to your how your body exists, how it works. But you must understand there must not words. There must only the silence. There's only the awareness. There's only watchfulness. No chattering, no words, no theory, just aware, just watchful, just attend, just concentration. It's not a forceful concentration. It is just be aware how your body exists, how it works, how it makes the postures. No words, but silence is the first way. Once you're practicing this again and again, in any problem, in any matter, you can aware to your body without go through any kind of mental problem or any kind of thoughts. And then secondly, Lord Buddha again ask us patience. How? That means meditation is not only to meditate few hours per day. The real meditator, real enlightened person, seeking for the enlightenment, to the understanding, he must remain, he must keep his understanding, his comprehension, his wisdom with all of his life. The 4 steps of understanding, 4 steps of liberation. Firstly, he must understand the reality. After that, He knows the reality, but his craving, his desires go against his wisdom. After that, he's going to fight with it. There's a fight with wisdom and the craving and the desires. You're going to win the craving. And if you win the craving, that means your wisdom go more higher. Why am I telling you the sensual pleasures are unsatisfied and they are not the real happiness? Why? I tell like that because these you will be the example to it. That's why I firstly asked you to look at your past and recall how many things you have done to overcome the stress, overcome the suffering, to find the happiness. But nothing is able to give you the eternal happiness. Nothing was not were able to uh, overcome from the suffering. In the future also, same. The future, when once you seeking for eternal happiness, once you seeking for the the overcoming of suffering, to avoid the loneliness, you will be associated with visuals, sounds, smells, tastes, and tangibles. But for that day also, the same thing will happen. You will feel unsatisfied. You will feel unsatiated very after a few moments later. So you must come to a conclusion. It is the sensual pleasures are not the answer to the happiness. It's not the answer to the loneliness. It's not answer for your problems. Because our lives, like robots, we are engaging and we are traveling, we are delivering in the samsara. We are driving in the samsara. For this existence, lust is there, craving is there, the concept of I is there, and the concept of mine, my people, my things, my goods, my properties, those things, those thoughts are there. And hatred is for the existence, the proud, each and everything, each and every meritorious and demeritorious, everything, because of will exist you. Once you are engaging with them, once the coming is finished according to your body, you have to go to another body, another life. That is the cycle of birth and rebirth. Nobody can stop it. If someone really need to stop the cycle of birth and rebirth, you have to cut off the fetters of samsara. The main fetter is craving for what we are to get rid of something, to continue something. But it will not make any sense if you crave or not. It just gives you a mental stress and fatigue. If you crave or not, what is going to happen? It will happen. It will not make any sense. So always get free, make free your mind with the craving, with the mental preparations. So that's why I said the first step is be aware to your body. Each and every time, once you type something, be aware to it. Be aware to your hands. If you talk something, be aware to your mouth. If you walk, be aware to it. Look at your body as a person who is, look at you far away from you. And as the second step, I mentioned you, be aware to your sensations. Now you 1 second to 1 second, you're gathering your attention to your sensations. If you don't gather your concentrate your attention to your body, the sensations, your attention always going to chatter with your mind. The mind starts the chattering. So for get rid of this, as the second step, you're going to be aware to your sensations. Once you become aware to your sensations, you will understand, oh, as a person who is look at you as far away from you, you're looking at you become watchful to your sensations. Or sensations are arising, they are passing away. Oh, an unpleasant sensation comes, and oh, it's passing away. And now I'm feeling neither pleasant nor unpleasant sensation. And after a few seconds, you will understand, oh, it also ceased, and now another sensation arises. Once you're aware to those sensations, you will be mature about sensations. Once you become mature, nobody, no sensation can fool you. If any kind of pleasant sensations arise within yourself, you will not cling to it because you totally understand once the sensation arises, it will pass away very soon. Once you feel a tremendous unpleasant sensation, for that also you will not be shaken because you fully understand, you fully comprehend it. If there's a sensation, it will pass away very soon because you're mature now. Because why? Because your practice, because your watchfulness, because of your mindfulness to your the sensations. That is the second step. You can do this practice while you're sitting and while you're meditating in both ways in your whole day-to-day life. Even you're talking with somebody, you can keep your mindfulness to your sensations. Each and every word, each and every sentence, your sensations will be different, like a wave of a ocean. It will sometimes that once you're hearing some sound, you feel kind of pleasant sensation. For some sounds, some sentences, you'll feel bit unpleasant sensations. Get your attention again and again to your sensations. Mind is going to stop. A chattering going to be stopped. And the third step, Lord Buddha again asked us to be aware to our thoughts. Now you 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 had been aware to your body, your sensations, and we are so mature in meditation. Now he can be aware to his thoughts. Now you will understand, oh, the craving arises, oh, it passes. It passing away. Oh, now a lustful thought arises in myself. Oh, just now it passed away. Oh, now I am feeling an angry thought. And what you not cling to it and you are not go through it. You're just watchful to it. Like a watcher. You're just looking, not doing anything. Aware to it again and again. It will make your mind so calm. And every thought's going to reduce within yourself. You're not engaging with any thought. Any thought can't shake you. Any thought, any mental preparation can't make you angry or make you lustful, or because properly understands this is the mechanism. Feeling lust, feeling hatred, feeling proud, feeling anger. It is so normal. It is because of that is the nature. But what are you going to understand? You're going to understand those are not mine. Those are not I am. Those are not myself. And those are not created by me. And those are not created by somebody else. They are just a mechanism. That is the only way to find the eternal happiness. There is no other way. You never find the eternal happiness. You will never get rid of the suffering. You will never get rid of your mental crazinesses and the stupidities with any kind of sensual things. The only way is the stilling of all preparations of your mind. To achieve this stilling of all preparation, the solitude, the freedom is so essential. If somebody has no freedom with his body, with his mind, how can he find, how can he understand a stilling of all preparations? Because the Nibbana, the enlightenment, is so psychological, is so scientific. Why? It is not something mysterious. It's so scientific thing. Normal human way is go through the thoughts, go through the desires, go through the sensations, go through the lust, hatred, anger, proud, and etc. But now he's going to not going to them. He's going to be aware to them. He's going to separate with it. Now his mind going to transform. Now his mind going to deprogram. Once your mind deprogrammed, once you understand there is nothing created by I, there is nothing created by somebody else. There is just mechanism. There is no way to arise thoughts. There is no way to arise stress or suffering, because he just living completely, immensely, intensely in this very moment. There is no way to suffer. And that is how he is get rid of the suffering in this very life. And if he has not any clinging with his body or mind, there is no way to go to another life. His cycle of birth and rebirth will stop completely. The third step was the watchfulness to your thoughts. Once you watchful to your thoughts again and again, your thoughts are going to produce. Sometimes your alertness will arise after chattering of some thoughts, but it's okay. Once you understand it, just be aware to it. Don't think about the past. Don't regret about, oh, I was chattering of, I was operating now more than 5 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Don't become like that. You just, because the fast is completely gone, you can't do anything. Only thing you have to do is just mindful. Just make your attention. Just make your watchfulness. Just make your awareness to this very moment, to here, to now. Because the suffering always arises in this very moment. The happiness always can arise in this very moment, nowhere else. If you are going to search the happiness in the future, you will not find the happiness. In your moment of death also, you will regret, oh, I was searching for the happiness in my whole life in the future, but now life is going to end. Now how can I find the happiness? So it is not satiated, it is not satisfied. The best way is find the happiness within yourself, within you, in your mind, by stilling of all mental preparations. There is nothing peaceful, there is nothing joyful, there is nothing lightful more than the stilling of all preparations. Because all kind of sensual pleasures, all kind of pleasant feelings, pleasant sensations are a creation of our mind. If we look at a small baby and if we become happy about his smile, it also just a preparation in our mind. We are preparing, oh, he's a little baby, oh, he's very nice, and we are making perceptions and we are making sensations with through those perceptions. Those all kind of sensual pleasant sensations are a preparation of your mind. Those are preparated sensations, preparated pleasant sensations, not natural. But there's an ultimate, eternal, extraordinary happiness, inner peace within you. It not requires any visual, any sound, any taste, any smell, any tangible, or any social status, any education. It just need the full of awareness, full of alertness. So once you become back to your thoughts, what's going to take place day by day, moment to moment. Once your thoughts get more reduced, there is only little mental subtle states of your mind. Sometimes you feel some crazinesses. Sometimes you will feel some mental fatigue. Sometimes you feel sleepiness. Sometimes you feel kind of hatred, some terrible ideas. For those also, we are taking them as I am experiencing. I'm the one who is experiencing. Lord would ask us to be aware to those also, to subtle mental states also. We are not going to take them as we are. We are not going to take them as I am. We are not going to take them as mine. We are not going to take them as ourselves or our soul. We just look at them. Just watch. You will mental states also rising, passing away, rising, passing away. You will be mature about this. So, to any kind of mental states, you will not cling anymore because you are mature now. You are fully stopped. You are fully silent. You are fully stilled. Lord Buddha has proclaimed, Nisitan Chachang, Anisita Chachang Nati. The person who touched with something, that person has a shaving, a shaking. If someone not touched with anything, he will not shake in any way. The same manner, your mind going to free from all things of the world, all things in the community, all societal orders, all existential conventions in your mind again and again. Amen. More deeper, and you will find the eternal happiness, the inner peace, ultimate bliss. That happiness couldn't compare with any sensual pleasure in the entire world. Because all other sensual pleasures are preparated of your thoughts. You're preparating them by your mind and you're feeling a sensation. But the happiness of stilling of all preparation, the happiness of no mind, The happiness of stopping of the chattering can't be found with any object in the world. Can't be found in any object in the world. So once you're aware to it again and again, you will just see an emptiness. Everywhere you will feel an emptiness. To this emptiness also, don't cling it as I am experiencing it. To emptiness also, just be aware to it. Just be fully aware, fully alert. So in this manner, you will find the stilling of all preparations. There is no any preparations. Every time, every point of your life will be a new time, new day, new moment, and your mind fully stopped. Your mind always feeling the freshness of the your mind always feel the freshness of the existence of the every new moment. Firstly, we need to understand it, and we have to practice it. For that understanding, Lord Buddha has preached so many types of methods to understand this. So many ways. In the Salayatan also same. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Salayatan Nirodho Nibbana. Cessation of six sense bases is Nibbana. How it can be ceased? How can we seize the eye? How can we seize the ear? How can we seize the nose, tongue, body, and mind? It's just by stealing of all preparations, to be aware to them, to get rid of the duality, get rid of the duality called world and I by the mental preparations. When somebody understands this state of mind, he is the one who understands the everything. He's the one who won the everything. He's the one who healed his wound by himself. He's the one who is enlightened. So the enlightenment, the understanding is always with us. It's just covered with the defilements. But you have to understand it properly, and you have to practice it. You have to keep your mind within it again and again with your effort. If you do this effort correctly, again and again, with full of faith, Lord Buddha has given us a time period, maximally within 7 years, it can totally enlightened. Still of all preparations will be your real state, will be your reality, will be eternal. For that person, we are calling an arahant, a person who is liberated, a person who is enlightened. So I wish you all to practice your meditations and your understandings. Always try to become a watcher to your body, sensations, thoughts, and subtle mental states. And always try to live in the stilling of all preparations. Because preparations equals to stress, suffering, mental fatigue, and etc. If there's no preparation, there is no stress, no suffering, no problem. So find that inner peace within you.